Greetings and welcome to ValoU. I'm Zaladrith and I'll be your instructor for today. Today's class is Mental 102, Deliberate Practice. Deliberate practice is a well-known, evidence-based learning method used in sports, music, and numerous other fields. A quick search on the internet can go into more detail on the general concept, but for this course, we'll be focusing on how to apply the general learnings from the literature specifically to Valorant. Practicing reinforces whatever you're doing, and deliberate here means to focus on specific growth areas for improvement. Most people overlook the value of the deliberate portion, just practicing by grinding ranked for hundreds of hours, reinforcing existing habits, and staying within their comfort zone. After all, it's almost effortless to just keep doing the things you already know how to do, and it feels like you're being productive since you're putting in the time. However, this isn't an efficient way to practice. It's like repeatedly retaking a standardized test and then wondering why your scores aren't improving. If you never even check the answer key, never think critically about or study the subjects that you do poorly on, why would you ever expect that score to change beyond normal variance? It's important to practice smarter, not harder, so let's take a look at how to leave our comfort zone. Step 1 is to identify your growth areas. For a fast learner, simply learning that new concepts exist might be good enough to start identifying them in your and others' play. If you think your only weakness is raw aim though, there's a 99% chance that you're wrong. Raw aim is simply the easiest skill to see and measure, since you can't evaluate skills that you don't know about or can't recognize. Many topics such as aim can also be broken down into numerous subcategories such as raw flick aim, movement and accuracy, spray control, crosshair placement, tracking, micro adjustments, and more, and are often misidentified as the cause, when really you were choosing the wrong skills for the job in the first place, or choosing to take a disadvantaged fight that you were never expected to win. It's important to be specific about your growth areas, so if you have trouble picking them out, it might be helpful to ask for a VOD review from a more experienced player. Once you've identified your growth areas, it's time to prioritize them in order of cost to value ratio. A good coach is especially beneficial here since they'll be able to more accurately identify growth areas that are higher impact for your personal playstyle. Some skills are more distracting to learn than useful at first, such as lineups, b-hopping, or counter-strafing. Other skills can show quick and immediate results, like lowering mouse sensitivity, holding angles wider, learning strafe shooting timings, etc. For concepts covered by ValoU courses, the lower the first digit of the course number, the more widely useful the information contained will be. Once prioritized, try to target only 2 or 3 growth areas each game, preferably ones that are very different from each other. As you play games or practice in DMs, constantly ask yourself during play or between rounds how you're doing on those growth areas. Oops, I took my knife out, or oops, my crosshair is too close to the corner, or I forgot to clear a corner, or 2, or 3. So when should I make time to think about improvement? The first is during play. Being mindful while playing is very distracting, but the active practice of a difficult skill will gradually turn it into instinct. A little notepad document, sticky note, or maybe even a looped recording just saying the word crosshair every 20 seconds might help if you find yourself forgetting or failing to focus. The second is after each round or death. Usually you can only play each round once, but imagining alternative decisions and simulating what would have happened mentally is an exercise that lets you play the round multiple times, saving time and multiplying the value of your practice. And the third is after the game. Briefly VOD reviewing a game every once in a while provides a different kind of value, as though it won't ingrain concepts into instinct as much, it gives you more time to notice and analyze things that you may have missed or not had time to think about in the moment. Leaving the comfort zone is uncomfortable. It's draining and painful to work on things that you're bad at, and when you're learning and practicing new skills, you'll naturally be bad at them at first. While it might distract you or make your brain hurt, eventually the active thinking will become instinct, just like how bad habits like always crouch spraying can become instinct through practice. For me, one of the most agonizing skills I forced myself to practice was slicing the pie while silent strafe peeking, where I forced myself to slow walk to every corner, crosshair placement ready for the enemy swing, and then pre-aim and jiggle peek every single common angle. And I would do this on every single corner. At first, I was extremely slow, and I was often either too slow or inaccurate at the technique itself, but as I grew more comfortable with it, I gained efficiency without losing effectiveness. Now that the painful practice is over, I barely have to give it conscious thought anymore, instead hurting my brain on other aspects of my play. Being distracted by thoughts while playing may also lead you to lose more games, but it's important to take an improvement mindset and focus on the benefits of long-term growth rather than caring about winning each individual game. If you're worried about jeopardizing your rank in competitive queue, then you can also practice in unrated or other modes. Most people might have a harder time remaining vigilant of their deliberate practice in lower pressure games, but if you can be disciplined enough to be diligent and always play to win, even in unrated, then it'll certainly be much easier to remain disciplined in your ranked games, and you'll throw fewer rounds chasing kills. In summary, deliberate practice is a well-known, evidence-based learning method for improvement across video games, sports, music, and more. It means to be mindful and focused during practice sessions, practicing smarter, not harder, instead of staying in your comfort zone. The steps are to first identify growth areas, prioritize them, and then target them in practice sessions. Think about these growth areas as you play, between rounds or deaths, and between play sessions. Leaving your comfort zone can be difficult and uncomfortable as you exercise skills you don't yet have, but it's the best way to build those skills up. That's all for today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the lecturer or the TAs in the comments below. Thanks for attending, and we hope you enjoy your stay here at ValoU.